Spirit, angels, messages for David regarding this energy from this full moon to the next. So I've been called to use the Mother Mary deck for you because of the Cancer season energy that we're in. The mother of the zodiac is Cancer. And I had the health card pop out when I first started shuffling, and then I remembered I wanted to turn the video on. So anyway, let's see if it comes out again. The health card is what came out. So what messages do you have, Spirit, for David today? I wanted to try to get the shuffling on the video for you. What messages do you have to give to David today, especially that health message? Open your heart. Beautiful. Okay. I'll probably pull out that heart again, or the health one, if it doesn't come out on its own. Both are equally important, giving and receiving, opening your heart, devotion and prayer. Instead of worrying, I pray about this situation to bring about some real solutions. Fully committing to my values and relationships, and God, I am clear about what to do next. So that's where we really need to surrender to the divine. And that is what's going to allow us to heal and open the heart, allowing yourself to feel the full range of emotions, especially all the forms of love. So before I turned it on, this is what came out. And so I kind of want to put that in the top of the cross here. So let's see, I've got this camera. I've had to adjust it a few times, but that's fine. So health. Okay. So there you have it. Health at the top of the cross. Prayers and healing miracles have been heard and answered. I loved that that popped out and that I didn't have the camera on. But that was the first one that came out. And the left-hand side of the cross is that feminine side of the energy field. I balance being generous and receptive because both are equally important, right? So you're really learning to balance those energies a lot better than you have in the past, because you had some blocks, and that was from childhood wounds that we've already gone over and has been verified by the other person that you were working with, you said. So she's just verified a lot of stuff we already kind of touched on, which is cool. As I fully commit to my values, relationships, and God, I am clear about what to do next. And that's great that that came out on the masculine side of the cross. You know, really feeling that balance and that open heart right in the center of the cross. Allowing yourself to feel the full range of emotions and giving yourself the time to be able to lean into that, because that's really where we get in the whole mode of being busy and worrying and getting into our heads. That's when we abandon our heart, and you're healing that heart chakra in the physical, because that's what has manifested over the years of, you know, closing and thinking, you know, that was a protection for your heart. when in essence, energetically, it manifested in the physical, and we're learning to heal that now. So instead of worrying about any situations and being in our head, we pray to bring about real solutions, right? But then you have to meditate and take the time to meditate to receive the answers of the questions and requests that you asked in prayer. Okay, so that's something that, I've reminded you of many times, David, is that you, meditating is where you receive the answers, and, prayer is where you ask the questions. So very distinctly different. Perfect. So let's go over that full moon cross that I did. I know I did that slow motion shuffle. I thought it was on time lapse, so I was trying to do the shuffle in time lapse, but in slow-mo you can actually see where the cards fall out when I'm doing the request. So the slow-mo was kind of cool to watch, actually. It was an accident, but it was really cool. So that's, how I shuffle, how I ask for the messages, and how they're received. But yeah, at that left-hand side of the cross, your dreams need a practical plan, and I know that that's a very Taurian type of energy, and so it can often, be distorted in its masculine exaggeration. And so learning to balance the intuition once again with the dreaming part, but remembering to still dream. That's the part that I think gets in the way for you sometimes. You have kind of limited beliefs sometimes with your dreams, because there's so many gifts that you have that God has given you in this life, and you're not restricted to using them in your job. This can turn into something great eventually, but surrendering to the divine is essentially required. And remembering that confidence that you are good enough to take those steps, and yes, you are good enough just as you are to evolve into that next chapter of your life. Taking time to breathe out is so important. This has come up for you many times, this take time to breathe out moon. And it's interesting that these were all full moons that I pulled. This one is disseminating, so that means, after the full moon, which is really the energy that we're in today. And it's been the first time that I've been able to really tap in since, receiving the news from my brother, being given 4 to 6 weeks to live, and him, wanting my sister and I to do some things legally that, we're not, about to sign anything. But anyway, I don't need to go into that with you, but that's kind of where my energy has been kind of spread out in the last few days. And this is the first time I've really been able to feel good to receive the messages that I wanted to send you since the full moon. So anyhow, this is another one that comes up for you a lot. It's time to release negativity in that full moon in Scorpio. And that's in essence, that's the self-doubt that sometimes you have within you, wanting to be, a certain way, and being able to release the conditioning that somehow we're not good enough. That's all solar plexus energy. And then that can, leak down into our lower chakras and into our upper chakras too. But I feel like it's affected your heart and your sacral and your roots sometimes, but it comes from the solar plexus. It comes from childhood stuff where we were made to believe we needed to be a certain way to be good enough. And so, but you're learning to release that, and I'm glad you're working with you've worked with that other person to confirm what we've already discussed. And that a win-win outcome is forecast, and that's the full moon in Libra, which really is all about balance. And I know that that's, without looking at your chart, I'm not remembering exactly, but I know there's a part of your chart that has Libra in it. But that's the balance that you're achieving at the base of this cross to really heal those lower chakras and your heart, finding that balance between the masculine and the feminine energies. And so so I really feel like you're doing the work. You know, sometimes you try too hard even, but sometimes letting go is really the essence of what we need to do. And you can let me know what you think of when I turned the light down there. I think it's a little less glary than it was. So I'm still experimenting with this recorded reading stuff. So anyway, your feedback is totally welcome, and thank you for letting me have you be my first one to do this particular method. So what messages can the shamanic deck give us for this clearing energy that we're in, for this balancing and organization of our energy in this full moon in Capricorn? We have a double one. So we got another one on July 21st, and we just had one. Capricorn is all about the grounding. And so Taurus can really relate to Capricorn. They're both earth signs. They're both driven signs, even more so with Capricorn sometimes. So it is the energy of getting our house in order, which is so clearing anything that needs to go that is blocking us from having energetic order. Okay, so let's take a look at the messages that our ancestors have in this clearing. Cool, we got another full moon in the middle of that flow card there. And it's asking us for the medicine of whatever that is. Anything else, Spirit? So really tapping into the sun energy of the solstice is what I'm getting here. We just had the longest day of the year, the summer solstice, fell right before that Capricorn full moon that we had on Friday. And this is really giving me those vibes, this rainbow card and flow card. And taming the wind, I love it. That one just flew out. 55, that's the new beginning. So you know, we're in this energy of change with the rainbow, and that all things are possible in this light of the solstice and the energy of the full moon. The flow is a little bit disruptive right now in the energy of Cancer, which is a very emotional energy. So you might be feeling, because of your placements in Cancer, you might be feeling a little bit more emotional lately. And you know what I'm getting from that is just let it flow. You know, don't you know, necessarily block the flow. So like, you know, even in the Mother Mary reading, is allow your emotions to, you know, give yourself the time to allow those emotions to move through you. It's so important to do that on your own, you know, without any help from a healer. Learning how to do that on your own is so essential. Those are the messages that are flowing through me right now. So let me just center this a little more. Okay, so yeah, taming the wind, flow, and rainbow. So let's see what those messages are in the book. Okay, so I'm bummed because I have misplaced my guidebook for these cards, hence the delay for another day trying to find it in some of my boxes that are still not unpacked. I have no idea where I could have. It's one of my favorite decks, so I probably had the book somewhere and could have misplaced it, so I'm gonna have to order another guidebook, which is not gonna get here until Sunday, unfortunately. But I can update you with the meanings then as well, but I'm just gonna go with the intuitive hit of, you know, the rainbow, like I said, being the solstice. Learning to go with the flow is still a challenge, and if you continue to do the work, you're going to have this new beginning, which is a 55. That's a number of profound change, but it's also a 10, a number of beginning, and 2, of course, is a number of balance. So going with that, the most medicine that needs to happen is being able to surrender to the flow of things. That's going to be ancestral guide advice, the guidance that, you know, just the basic gist of that and the flow. And she's in the full moon there, and it does feel a little bit chaotic in the Cancer energy of the water, kind of like a boat rocking around sometimes, but we will get through this. And at least the Capricorn full moon gives us the stability and the earth energy that we need to find the flow. But it's just important not to be too rigid and to be more flexible. So that's what I'm getting from that, just intuitively without looking at the guidebook. So now let's get some messages from the Wisdom Oracle deck to help you maximize your energy during this full moon season of Capricorn, this double full moon of Capricorn, 2 in a row. Spirit, what guidance can you give David for this energy? This card just kind of is calling as I shuffle. It's round and round. So remembering that transformation requires us to step out of our comfort zone in order to perpetuate the kind of cyclical nature that we want, rather than repeating cycles that don't serve us. So, you know, that 7 is a number of transformation, and it's very much a spiral looking card there. I'm trying not to get too much glare here, so I'm going to turn this glare down a little. But it's a beautiful, beautiful card. I've got to figure out a little bit better system with the lighting here because I'm looking at the reflection. But yeah, it's a beautiful card. It does resemble that rainbow card from the other deck as well. So just intuitively, that's a card that needs a little work with you, but you're learning to step out of the comfort zone a little bit better. And your this inward spiral goes to that third eye and that pineal gland. So, you know, that is becoming more and more clear. This 11 card came out by the book. Yeah, that's another trait of yours that can sometimes be really awesome in the work that you do, but it's funny that I can't find my guidebook for the last deck. It's kind of ironic. So it's telling me to go off the book and go intuitively more. That's the message from Spirit, and me losing that book, hopefully temporarily. But anyway, you are very much a family-centered person, and the elephants are so intelligent. You have such a good mind, David, and it has really helped you with, you know, having that stability in your family. And it's going to become even better. But going by the book all the time, this 11 card came out on its side. So, you know, you're learning the balance. It's really justifying that you're learning the balance here. And so asking questions through your prayers about balance, you know, family, help me with balance is a good prayer, as far as, you know, finding more balance in just about everything. That's what I'm getting from this card, and that's going to create a very beautiful harmonic, it's going to create harmony that you seek, that you know, have, thinking that it's a destination, but you can be there sooner if you want to. If you can find harmony within yourself and balance within yourself, it will manifest on the outside. So just remember, you have the ability. I'm seeing a lot of brown and yellow tones in here, so a tiger's eye would be a good stone. I can't remember if you told me you had some tiger's eye, but I feel like it would be a very good balancing, grounding, but also very solar plexus energy, strengthening and protection, and, you know, building back that joy, reclaiming that joy, confidence, and abundance. So wearing tiger's eye either in your pocket or around your wrist or wherever it's the most convenient, tiger's eye would be a very good stone for you, is what I'm getting from that. Let's get one more. All that glitters. Oh my gosh. Here is another card. It's a 7, another 7. And this can have many connotations, but you know, the balance with those two masks between the shadow self and the light body, you know, finding that acceptance within yourself is gonna, you know, really perpetuate that solar plexus healing. And yeah, I'm just really drawn towards that solar plexus type of gemstones. So pyrite is another really good one. Pyrite is a really good healing stone for doing breath work, or yeah, so like when you're meditating, things like that. It's giving me that vibe. So, and that's another transformation number. So 7 came out twice in this triple reading. So I'm not going to go by the book, but I will send you the messages that you can view the book explanation if you like. I'm just going intuitively and, you know, letting go of my frustration of losing my guidebook to my shaman deck. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and put this together and get it out to you. And then I'll send the deeper messages from the books that I have. And then once I get my replacement book or find my other book, whatever comes first, I will send you the book messages of the shaman deck. So we're just going to go by my intuitive hits through this for now, and we will explore that later. And then if this brings up any questions for you, we can include a follow-up phone call in that price that I gave you, especially because you've been so patiently waiting for your reading. We'll just include that follow-up phone call. And if you have any other questions that can be answered either by me and my own intuition, or we can use cards to answer those questions that come up for you, David. Okay, so thanks again for your patience, and I'll get this out to you as soon as possible. And it's got some really good fun messages here. And like I said, I'm trying this new method that I needed to at least do one to practice so that I can streamline it and make it a lot faster. So yeah, your feedback is so welcome. Okay, thank you again.